The only person who can pull me down is myself, and I'm not going to let myself pull me down anymore. C. Joy Bell C. I want to talk about self-love. It's one of the most vital things that you're going to need throughout all your life. I can't even just relate it to just, relationships and partners, marriage, stuff like that. It's in everything that you do. Things that you want to be in life, the purpose that God has set in you, you will not be able to do it unless you are whole. A lot of the times, we seek validation through everything else. And by the time you realize what the whole truth really was, sometimes you're so destroyed or so deep into dysfunction, you won't see where you could have been. I had to learn the hard way. I'm just gonna put it straight up like that. I had to learn the hard way. But I'm grateful. My son is sleeping in the background. Yeah. The journey I had to go through, and they're all needed factors in order for you to get to where you need to be at this moment. Imagine you having all the best moments in your life and all the worst moments. Now, if you close your eyes, right, and you strictly just think about all the good moments that you had, and you erase all the bad moments you ever had, how far would you have gotten to this point now? You may think you've gotten that you will get far, but you actually will not. Character building interties with pain. I'm not saying every dimension of character that you develop is strictly through pain, but a lot of it is. A lot of things that we learn, life lessons, are usually connected with some form of pain, or something that you observed or you've dealt with yourself, or however it comes. But to build character, sometimes you have to go through something real deep in order for you to have virtue. But if you didn't go through that bad time, you wouldn't have gotten this far. So me growing up, I was a very shy kid. Very, very introverted. Stayed to myself for years. And the job I have now, I had to speak to people all day, every day. And it was one of the hardest things to do because I'm not used to it, So I remember taking, my last college course, and it was speech class. I'm going to fail that class because I couldn't do it. So I remember taking that class and dropping it, taking it and dropping it. And finally, it was my last semester. And it was just I got to take it. I was going to stay here a whole nother, 6 months. So I pulled my professor to the side, and it was just hey, this is my last class. So can you just do me a favor? And he's just well, you got to do the work. And I'm like, yeah, but I have, I'm just introverted and, I get anxiety and stuff like that. And he's just like, I get it. Don't worry. We'll do techniques, but you're doing this. You got this. And I remember being in class literally saying, when the hell am I going to need speech? When the hell am I going to sit there and speak to millions of people? Never. Look with me now. But anyway, after that class, I literally put it on the back burner. I did not put enough effort in that class. He gave me a C, which I'm entirely grateful to this man for, because he could have failed me and I had to go do the whole thing again. But he passed me. I was able to get my 60 credits and be done with it. But yeah, I went for the job and I had to literally knock on a door. Ordinary, everyday door. Doors that have little doggy statues and American flags and flower pots or whatever, what have you not. I had to go through every door, and every door I had to put on a face. It's literally a mask. So I had to play a role, put on the mask, and play this girl that I guess you would say is an alter ego. The girl next door, but super bubbly, just overly sweet. And I practiced at every door. And yeah, in the beginning, I sucked. I truly did suck. I could feel my heart pumping out of my chest. It's about to explode because I just couldn't handle it. And when I got my first sign up, it was just like, oh, I can do this. And then I got the second door and I felt anxiety all over again. It's not like a whole story of, yeah, and the more and more that you do it, then during next door, I soared. I did not soar. I had plenty of bad days. And then I had some good days, and for the most part, it was definitely an experience to get me from point A to point B, so I went from door to door. And it got to the point towards the end of it, I've gotten to the point where I got so good that I remember pulling zeros and 1 and or 2 and 3 would be my best day so far, So pulling 7 is on some, you're a unicorn. So last day I had pulled a 7 on the job. And I was feeling it. I was feeling myself, completely different person. When I was at the door, it literally was, I'm your granddaughter, I'm your sister, I'm your cousin, I'm your, I'm everything and anything you need me to be. So, that's all it is. The key to being successful, I would say, when it comes to the field I was in, you find their need. So if you see, a little old lady, she's 80 years old, she has a whole bunch of pictures on the wall of her grandkids, and you can tell that she lives alone and stuff like that, and she's talking about her grandkids, you become one of her grandkids. Okay? She offers you a cookie, you eat the cookie. And before you know it, you probably will be adopted. I have a couple of families I'm adopted from. So, I'm all races at this point. But it taught me a lot. And I did not enjoy it in the beginning. I loathed going to work. I hated it. But I knew I had to do it. Something told me I had to go. This is something that God does for you. He tells you, get up. You need to do this. And I end up getting up. So to this point now where I now, instead of it being door to door, I go through the phone. So I do most of my calls, and, have to do it that way. But again, the first few days, I sucked because people are a whole lot ruder on the phone than they are at the door. If you think that people are rude at the door, which they can be, people are hell 10 times worse at the over the phone than they are at the door. So, I could hang up on, curse out the wazoo, but still, instead of me being girl next door, for some reason, I became the Southern girl. That's in my deepest of minds. That is the most warmest, archetype I can think of. And it came from, hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, such and such, such. I'm here at X, Y, and Z. It literally became, how you doing? My name is such and such. I'm just here and it just came out, but it worked. It worked for me, and I just kept going with it. And now it's to the point where I'm good. And I think it kind of got me to this part where I'm recording myself. So everything happens for a reason. Everything. Don't ever think that it's not. But that's what ties in when it comes to self-love. When you have the realization that all things are for your good, all things are for God's will within you, and once you're able to accept that, it's so much easier because you know who you are. You know your purpose, you know who you are. And you can actually see things from an aerial view of why it was needed. There's certain things I had to do in order for me to get to that point. And even before the job, I was at a really, really low point in my life at one point. So, I had went through a breakup, felt the lowest of low, and I wasn't as religious. Yes, I believe in God and stuff like that, but I didn't know him. I didn't see him. And it took for me to literally give up. I had to give up. I had to break that stiff hold on trying to control that one thread of me holding on to my life. It's like, I imagine it as a tunnel. You're in a dark tunnel, and everybody has their own dark tunnel. And in that tunnel, there's all kind of factors, So you can't see it's a dark tunnel. So you're getting punched, and you're getting jabbed, and stabbed up, and you fall, and you black eyes, you're bleeding, you don't know where you're bleeding from, you're in so much pain you can't even walk, you're crawling at this point. And it depends on how fast you learn how long your tunnel's gonna be. So there's different lessons that you have to build yourself up, because you have to build your character. And you'll go through this tunnel, and whatever you see as what your beautiful life would be is at the end of your tunnel. So I used to see me as a little girl, and she was there when I finally reached my tunnel. And I looked up at her, and I was dead. I was dead. I make that joke all the time, and even though it's just like, that's a dark joke, it was kind of true. A part of me died, and she looked at me. Well, me looked at me. 5-year-old me is so cute. But she looked at me, and all I can do is just look at her like, at least I did it. It's over. And she flew me up to God and was on some, you gotta save her. I think she's done for. She's done. And God looked at me and was just like, get up. Get up. You're not dead. You got way more life in you than you think, because you are my child. And I got up. And within that mindset of finally getting up, literally the Lazarus moment right there, got up, the instant that you have a changed mind, it's so smooth, it's so ill that you don't even know when it happens. Like, you know when it happens, but you don't know the exact moment of it. It's just a switch. And before you knew it, I know, let me read this book, this particular book, or something will point out to you. Let me see this video, because this video has something to say, or what makes you feel good inside. So it's just like, if you have long hair, styles make your hair, style long hair. I have a bob. So, flat iron, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, instead of me not doing my hair for months, it was, let me try this. And if it goes even deeper than that. It's not even about the mundane or just the skin deep. It's more like I was writing sticky notes on my bathroom wall, and it literally would say, "You got this. You're beautiful. You're a unicorn. You're one of the last of your breed. You're smart, you're this, you're that," everything in between. And all my goals, I would write them down on sticky notes, and I'll put them in the bathroom. And I lived in a house of like 5-6 other people, so they were up there for a little bit, but then you start getting a little subconscious about it, so I would take them down and put them out, put them down. So every time I was in the bathroom, I put my sticky notes, and I would look in the mirror, and I would say them. And the first few days you saying them, you look in the mirror, you think like you're goofy as hell, saying these corny things. But then afterwards, after a while, you actually start saying with a little bit of confidence in your back. Like, you start getting a little swag with it, and then before you know it, you saying it without even looking at the sticky note. And then you start saying it in conversation outside of the bathroom. And that's when it really starts working. God really starts working and just molding you and massaging it in. And then you get to the point where you can't even think how you previously thought. It's like not even your head. You can't even phantom. Why would I say that? Why would I say, I'm not worth it? I know I'm worth it. It's just within you at this point. So certain things that you would never have done, you just automatically start doing because you have it in your head now. I'm worthy of this. Like, why wouldn't I? Instead of you saying why, you start saying why not. And it comes so naturally, the way it should have been from day one. The day one that you've lost, whether someone wanted to try and take it from you, or they wanted to say, whatever, or somebody hurt you, or whatever, whatnot. However it was robbed, God gives it back to you, and He gives it back to you tenfold. And that sin against that will never happen again, as long as you keep in His word, as long as you keep, and don't get a big head off of it. Do not, because from where you was, I pleaded out to God. I couldn't take it. Couldn't do it. The inside of me, almost to my soul, my mental, it was so strained. And it got to the point where when you have grief, it's like something that it's like a pit in your stomach, and if it festers, it gets infected in it. And if you don't let it go, all it will do is it'll spread to all of your body, and it's foul. And if you let it infect all of your body, it literally comes to the outside. People can feel it. People can see it. People can smell it. People everything. People now see how you feel, what you feel like. And that's when you know you need to get it together. When people can see how you feel, you have to get it together. You got to go to God with this. Give it to God. And now to the point where if I can't find my shoes, I'm praying. Lord, I need to get my shoe. I want to get this cup of coffee outside. I got to get it. And long and behold, I sit there and pray about everything. But I didn't have a prayer life before. I didn't have any of that. And now it's just like it's so strong now that it's something that I can't imagine myself not having ever. And I'm still learning. Like, it's not something where it's a magic wand and all of a sudden now you know everything about God and X, Y, and Z. I still mess up. I mess up every 5 seconds off of anything. I have my days. We're all human. But I don't want to go back. So if I need to repent, I'm going to repent. If I need to fix my character, I'm going to fix my character. You fix your posture. I'm constantly trying to make God proud of me. And he didn't have to. He didn't have to say, I want you. But he did. And it's almost mind-boggling. Me? Why? Out of everyone in this whole entire world, me? But he did. And there's meaning in that. There's something that weighs so much more in that alone. So I love people, and I love the good that people can do and the potential in everyone, because I know that had I known who I am now, what I could have been, there's so much potential there. There's so much things that's tapped in that I didn't know about. And God is slowly showing me, this is who you are. This is Latoya. There's nobody else. Like, you're putting on all these characteristics that's not even you. That's my, it's a bishop that I listen to, and he goes, who told you that? God didn't tell you that. Who told you that? But it's true. It comes from the flesh. All these things that you listen to, fleshly things. Someone gonna sit there and tell you, you ugly, you this, you that, or whatever, you stupid, you this. And you sitting there believing it, especially if you from young, forget it. That sucker is embedded. You gotta dig that out. But the key word is it can be digged out. If you give it to God, it definitely will be digged out. There's no way around that. It's gonna get digged out. But my love for God is the appreciation of it. Because from where I was to where I am now, don't ever let no one make you feel or think that you ain't worth nothing in this world. You're so much more than you would ever know. Nobody knows the full picture. God knows, but nobody knows the full picture. But I can tell you that God has a plan for you, and God has His will for you. And if you go to Him, cold-heartedly, you're gonna get there. That's where self-healing comes from. You can't heal yourself until you give up all the weight inside, all the dark inside. You know the term where it says, God wants to use you as a vessel, but you're sitting there putting all these things in, into your vessel, and it's usually things that people have told you over the years. And you're sitting there filling up your vessel with all these negative things, and by the time you get to God, He's just like, what the? That's not what this was. So He has to you have to give up everything. And then once you do that, God is just like, all right, well, time to repot. We're going to do a new plant. Not even a new plant. We're going to put in the original plant, the plant that you threw out and decided to put all these other stuff in. And that goes through validation. People usually put validation in external things. It should never be. God is within you when you empty your vessel. That's where it comes from, self-validation. And from a healthy standpoint. Not, self-validation as in I'm getting it from off my pride, and vanity. But you're literally giving it to God. Your validation is what He says you are. Not from what you say you are. Because at that point now you can get over, you can go over and now you're just a conceited bee or, completely almost narcissistic. No one wants to deal with a narcissist. We all know what narcissists are. But you come from a healthy standpoint of validation. It comes from humility. And when you have humility, you can self-reflect. And when you self-reflect, you can then remove the weight. Once the weight is removed, it gets filled with God's glory. And that's all the characteristics of who you originally were. The DNA print of who you are. And once you got that, the sky is the limit. I can't even say sky is the limit at that point. It's there's no limit. God has a way of changing in the most ironic way. It's like if you looked at my whole life from way down to my childhood to now, I'm a walking, contradiction. Really, I am. I'm not supposed to, on the naked eye or, as a worldly standpoint, I'm not supposed to have gotten to this point. I'm not supposed to have gotten this far. But in God's standpoint, I'm right where I need to be, and it's not something, I didn't do anything. I didn't do a damn thing. I gave it to God. God has pushed me through where I needed to be at this point in time. Because without Him, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to fail. And there's too many times that has happened to me. You start filling your britches. That's why I say humbleness. Because fill your britches because somebody could easily bring you back down to earth. So you stay with humility. You humble yourself. And you have respect for other people. You have love for other people. That's the only way to take away pain is through love. Whether you love yourself or you love others, always come from a humility, a humble standpoint. Once you got that, man, you're going to be lethal. Yeah. That's what I got. Self-love. Episode 1.